Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Hankins, many Arkansas jobs depend on renewable forest resources in the forest products industry, just like in your state. And I'm very pleased that the forest products are now, as you mentioned, now eligible to more fully participate in USDA bio-based programs. I'm encouraged, at that, and it sounded like from your testimony that you're encouraged. What can you tell us, though, as we start to implement this in the USDA, as we see the implementation go forward, what should we keep an eye on with USDA?
Well, I think first concern is in the rules and where lumber and forest products can be labeled. As I said, in our opinion, we are definitely a bio and should be a bio-preferred product. Right off the start of it, like in our case, in all lumber products, you put a grade stamp on it telling your mill and association the rules to grade, but you've also got an opportunity to put other things that you're involved with. And as currently, like we put on there that we're a sustainable forest initiative, we'd be, as soon as we got approval, we would be glad to add that to us to where that everybody buying those forest products would know these were bio-based preferred products.
Very good. It's good to have you here, Mr. Monroe, as one Razorback to another, and somebody that attended the University of Arkansas. And again, the importance of this stuff, people ask us at home, what are we doing? And the name of the game is jobs, jobs, jobs. And that's what this is really all about. As I meet with small business owners across Arkansas, almost all of them tell me about their hesitancy to hire new workers or grow their companies due to the climate of uncertainty that continues to hang over our economy. You also discuss this uncertainty in your testimony. However, I'm very encouraged by your plans to create a new bioagricultural research center which will create 100 jobs. Can you elaborate on the impact of this economic uncertainty, the effect that it has had on your business decisions, and how you hope to mitigate those effects moving forward?
Sure. So as I mentioned earlier, when we're talking about a brand new industry like the one we're embarking on, despite the research that we've been doing for quite a number of times, for a long time, as we all know in this economically uncertain time period, capital is hard to find. And so the more certainty we can provide in a number of ways, the more it helps. So as an example, things like the renewable fuel standard, and I know that's not the subject today, but it's a mechanism that helps us to provide certainty for a marketplace that we can continue to develop technologies for. And our investors can look at and say, okay, there'll be a market for your product. And the second part of that is that the agricultural side of this, the enormous potential that's there, and this is something that I think this committee does that's very important and is doing today, which is to get the word out about the enormous potential that this country has for bio-based feedstock. And if we can get to it, that will provide a tremendous amount of economic growth and jobs. And by the way, these are jobs that are very hard to outsource. We're not going to collect feedstock in a 50-mile radius and then ship it somewhere else in the world to bring the product back. We're going to do that right here at home in local communities. So if we can get to that vision, and I think we're doing the right things to get there, we'll have more certainty and we'll have more jobs.
Very good. Mr. Miller, you mentioned the challenge of gauging customer interest as an ongoing obstacle for bio-based manufacturers. What steps have you taken to market yourself to potential customers, and what advice would you give to emerging companies?
So originally, when bio-based rolled out, so I'm dating a little bit, but 20 years ago, the challenge was the chemistry wasn't very good, and we were trying to put chemistry where it shouldn't be, right? And so really the big difference today is we're focused on those markets and those applications and those technologies that really drive value. And so green is nice, but it doesn't sell, right? You have to have the performance, it has to be there, you have to have the market knowledge. And so what I would caution everybody is, green is almost a table stake, and you need to focus on driving the chemistry and the technology forward. So For instance, with our green transformer fluid, yep, it's green, made from soybean oil, but it also has a high flash point, right? It's biodegradable. It also makes a transformer last longer. And, and so not only do you get the environmental impact, but you also get safety, and then you can save money for the utility. So the key is you have to have the value proposition.